Yep. Hey, 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 it's Kimberly Smith Austin, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Made to Inspire podcast. I am here today with my awesome and amazing co-host, Misty Kerrigan. Hey, Misty.
Hey, Kimberly. Happy beginning of the week. Whoop, whoop.
Yes, happy April. We're in a new month.
We are in a new, and we're in a new quarter.
We're in a new quarter. It's Q2, guys.
Q2. And we're bringing you another phenomenal tool for Q2. Another tool for Q2. And actually, it's one of our favorite tools because we both are a little bit extroverted and social, and we love people. So you want to tell them what our tool is?
Absolutely. For those of you who are building a business or living in a business or working, whether you're the entrepreneur, the emerging executive, whatever your title is, I'm sure you're given opportunities to network. And today we're coming back with a conversation about networking and the power of networking, because we believe that's one of your greatest tools. So now, Misty, I think it's time for us to get ready and get into the show and talk a little bit about networking.
Well, I want to say that you are in the right place if you're listening today, because Kimberly is a black belt in networking. And I've seen this lady network in a bathroom. networking in a bathroom.
Well, every chance, every place you get is a tremendous opportunity to talk, because when you think about it, what is networking? Misty, what is it? And I'll give you a definition. It's the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information, develop relationships, whether professional or social. That's all it is. And so if you think about both you and I, we love to talk. So networking is right up our field.
I love that. And I used to be intimidated by it because I had the wrong definition of it. So until I really understood what my whole purpose of it was and get some little just quick pointers, I was taught kind of the old way, right? Like, look at the person, tell them what you do, see if you could sell your product, like hand them your business card and run, right? Like you see this still at networking events where people are just, they don't even look at you. They're like, I sell insurance, here's my card.
I don't like them. I don't like those people. And I think it's because I understand the power and what networking is meant for, that they turn me off immediately. It's like, they just really vomited on me. And so we're going to give you some tips and ideas when it comes to networking and really how to do it effectively. If you're looking to grow your contacts, your network, because remember, your net worth is connected to your network. So you got to get out there and get some action, meet some people, connect so that you can grow.
Oh, I love that. So do you want to jump into the steps? Because I know it's hard to talk about networking without the steps, because the first one I think is so important. And it's one that taught me my biggest lesson that you taught me. So step number one, what you taught me was, don't just show up, be intentional, have it all ready before you get there. Why are you going? So
That's
that
right.
you can stay in your intention. Because I know I used to be the one too, would find someone I know and probably chat all night there, maybe meet some people, but not connect with people, because I was like, oh, I'm here at this networking event. So it was really, well, why are you going? What do you need? What do they need? Kind of like, what benefit are you adding by being there? Not what are you taking? What are you adding?
Yeah, that's a good point, Misty. And I think so many people go to networking events because they know, I need to grow my network. Number one, some people don't know how, some people don't know the process, but they know, I want more people. I want more people to know about my amazing business and what I do. So that's what they go with. And so, like you said, you be intentional, and you have to go with a goal, right?
What was the goal?
Write that down. Go with a goal in mind. And if that's making new contacts, adding new names to your email list, if it's whatever that is, go with that goal in mind. And when you get there, be prepared to tap into the goal, right? Because I think sometimes we can get distracted. There's interesting looking people, sounding people that will keep you in their midst for 10 minutes if you allow them to. But you have to remember why you're there and what you hope to accomplish. If you're looking to make new connections, you have to go with that in mind. And keep in mind, making a new connection is not vomiting about what your business is. That's not a connection. That's simply you, bam, throwing people. I own a plumbing company and I help people clean out their drains. Guess what? They don't know you from Adam, so they could care less about you cleaning out the drains right now. Make the connection. Make that connection. And when you do, set yourself up so that you can prepare to go into the next steps that happen, but you can't go in vomiting.
I love that, because it's so true, because we do business with people we know, people we like, and people we trust. Like, and trust. Right. So instead of the business leading, you have to lead so you can build those relationships and people can start to know, like, and trust you. Because then they'll be out there, they're like, instead of being like, oh, okay, let me take your card and throw it away in 10 minutes. Once they know, like, and trust you, they're like in their head thinking, like, who do I know that needs you? Because I want to share you, right? I want to tell people about you. You are phenomenal. So the first thing is intentional. Go with a goal. Different networking events do different things.
That's right.
So do you want to stand up and talk? Do you want to meet professional business people? Do you want to meet casually? There's some that happen at the clubs. There's some that happen at bars. Those ones are a little awkward. It feels like you're dating again, but you know, you're nor there. So it really just is, where are you going? You're intentional. So you know, which type of event do I want to go to? Or what type of event is this? So I know how to be prepared.
Right. That's why you calendar them. You plan, you go out a month in advance and say, what's on the calendar? What's available this month? I know I looked at the Chamber of Commerce and I sent you a couple of leads, Misty, and said, hey, this event's going on. You go, I'm going to go to this one. And we're intentionally planning where we're going and connecting according to our goal, according to our desired outcome. So you want to make sure you look at that. Now,
so you're intentional, you show up, you meet someone, what's the first thing people usually do? Blah! Just right, like, I'm Misty and I do this and I do that and I do this. Person, you're like, did I breathe or did I give them a what's their name? And you're standing in your head going, crap, what's their name? 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 Right?
Right.
Because you made the next mistake. You didn't do step number 2.
Right.
Which is
listen and learn. Listen and learn. And I always go back to Stephen Covey's comment. He says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Even in networking, folks, even in networking. So when you think about this idea of listening, it's novel. It's a novel concept, but here's the truth. It's the best thing you can do. And although you're there to meet new people, you be the listener first. Zig Ziglar says that when you listen, you become the most interesting person in the room. And you know why? Because people don't listen. People talk and talk and talk and talk. But now you took a back position, and I'm going to call it, you put your hands on your hips and you took the superpower, Superman pose, because you listened. And here, it's a power position. You know why? Because you're listening to your opposite person. I'll use the word opponent. You're listening to the person standing before you tell you who they are, what they do, and maybe what they're looking for, giving you the opportunity to then respond accordingly. You're learning about what they're doing. You're listening, you're learning, and now you're going to respond and let them know, hi, I'm Kimberly Smith Austin with Made to Inspire, and I help people blah, blah, blah. And be sure to add in an element of what they said. That is, if it applies to what you and your organization can do for them. But listen and learn.
I love to listen and learn, because a lot of us actually, now we have maybe a couple companies, or maybe there's a couple things that we do. So instead of just trying to promote one, if you listen and learn, you might be able to serve them with something else that you do. Now, I do want to add, though, is remember, you're not really talking to the person in front of you. Most of the time at networking events, people don't need what you have in front of you. But you want to be so crystal clear that they know someone who does need you, because we're all like that 6 degrees of separation. So what I love to tell people is, don't be the Cheesecake Factory. Don't give them your menu of the 2,000 things you do. You're in and out. You're the burger. That's what you're known for. That's what you love to do. And then when you're talking to them, I just heard this in a book called The Go-Giver. And it was funny. He said, no one cares about your McGovern. No one cares. They only care about themselves. And so when you're talking about how amazing and all the bells and whistles, nobody cares. You have to talk about the benefits.
That's right.
And you got to be short and sweet and out, because you'll be talking too much and your whole goal there is to listen and learn.
Yes, yes, and meet more people, because again, that if that's your intention for the day, if that's your goal, it's connecting. You don't go to a networking event to sit and talk to one person for 35 minutes or an hour.
So
You
I've been
sit
told.
to make your movement around the room. Work the room is what I like to call it. You're going to work the room, and you have to know how to navigate through those conversations to then, when you've gotten what you want, in indirect way, you're able to move on. Able
So
to move.
I want to add to that because I think you're really great. You meet, let's say you go to networking event, you meet 15 people. You're not going to want to work with all people anyway, and you already have the persons and people that you love to work with. So if you are working in the room, you're meeting all these people, you're already getting a good feel about, oh my God, that lady's amazing, or oh man, that guy, he had me laughing, or he really had this, we had this thing in common. So in a weird kind of way, it is like dating, because you're also looking for compatibility. Because I know most people get stuck on that one customer they don't want anyway. That one customer that is just a pain in the butt that they spend most of their time on, if you don't want them anyway, find the people that flow and you mesh with, that you want to work with. And that's why working in the room is important, because you got to remember other people's state of mind at these events too. Their state of mind is, here's my business card, I'm here to make connections. So usually at those events, no one's in the state of mind to want to like seal a deal. They really are get to know you and listen to events.
What's interesting is I've become very particular in who I even give my card to or whose card I take. I don't need a library of cards, which, over the years, people are giving them out. And, I'm very protective. And I have even gone to some new technology, which I'll share with you all. It's digital business cards, right? I don't like the paper anymore. They're great. But you know what? I literally, right now on my desk, if I could show you, I have a pile of business cards. Hold on, let me just show you right here. You see this? Piles of business cards.
If you're listening, it's a pile. It's probably at least 200 cards.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, yes, they're great, but I've gone to digital. And so I've got a QR code, boom, people pull me up and they've got all of my access, all of my social, all of my contact numbers, how to reach me. And the best thing about my system, it then allows them to put their contact information. It saves them on a list. And maybe we should talk about this as a great business tool, because once it puts them into my contact system, the very next day, I get a text saying, hey, did you do step number 3?
Woo!
Did you do step number 3, which is follow up?
Most important step, right? Arguably the most important step. So you meet them, you're intentional about when you're going, you're listening and you're learning, and then now people fall off. You made a great connection. You're going, this is amazing. Nothing. Crickets. So you have a secret when it comes to follow up, though.
Yeah. I believe the fortune's in the follow-up, number one. And a couple things that I do to ensure that the follow-up is effective. Couple things, just a quick tip. Number one, when I'm with that person the day of, I always take a picture.
There you go.
Take a picture of she and I, he and I, or whomever, just to have a visual reminder, one for myself, but for them. And so that next day or within 24 to 48 hours that I'm following up, I'm going to send them a text and say, hey, it was so great meeting you, and maybe hit some highlights of what we talked about and say, let's connect for coffee or smoothie or whatever. And I include that picture. Because now they're not going to forget who I am. They have a visual reminder, and keep in mind, I've reached out. Truth is, with follow-up, most people, we gather these 200 business cards, right? And we pile them on our desk like they are on my desk right now, and we don't follow up. We're losing the money right there. We're losing the contact. We're losing the deals. We're losing the opportunities. That's why it's super important that we have a follow-up system. You write those cards down, you sit them, you look at them, you put them in your CRM or your business card system like I use now, and you say, okay, this was a good contact for this. But here's what I love. When you get those contacts, every one of them, as Misty said, may not be someone you want to contact, someone that you want to do business with. But what if you changed your mindset and say, you know what, maybe they're not for me, but who can I connect them with? You know what, I've got Johnny's card right here. Let me call Johnny and say, hey, Johnny, it was great meeting with you. Let me connect you with my friend, Misty. I think you guys would be an awesome connection. She's in the same line of business, or she complements what you do. So guess what you just did? You added value. And then you became a trusted advisor for that individual, even though you all didn't do business together. Now you just leveled up. And what do they call it? Ante, leveled up the ante, added more to the bank.
I love that. You know what? And one of the things I train is the customer journey, and the journey is all about at every level of interaction with you, how are they getting a result?
Yep.
Even when they meet you, if they're a little happier, maybe you brought a little more energy or you made them smile, that's a result. That's a result of you interacting with them. And so when you said added value at every step, if you switch your mind to how do I add value to this person? How do I add value to this person? In the whole law of reciprocity, you can't help but be successful by just being intentional about value. That alone is a show in its own.
I love that. I want you to repeat that again. You said at every action, repeat that because that was so powerful. At every action,
the other person needs a result from you. We're result orientated now. We're in a society where 3 seconds is an eternity because of technology. So every result, every interaction from you has to have a result.
That's good.
Even like when we talk about from stage or from you speak, is what are they getting back from you? Is it an energy? Is it a smile? Is it a what I've been trying to do lately too is just find ways to compliment people. Compliment, not in a fake way. I like your shoes because I want to get to connect with you. But you know, when you're looking at someone and you can tell they did a little extra with their shirt today, or I've been noticing, I don't know if you know this, eyebrows are hard. They're hard to do. And so when I see someone whose eyebrows are on point, I make it a point to tell them.
Right.
And that's an added value because we're like, thank you. Like it's a validation of I took the time this morning to do something and someone recognized that. Like it's so for me, it's getting me more out of the talk, which sounds weird because when you lead with someone else and they stay with someone else, it's easy to stay in the conversation and listen about them and not make it about you.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. And I love it. Just complimenting for the sheer purpose of complimenting because there's beauty all around us. The question is, are you seeing it?
Yes.
So when you think about this process of networking, that's a simple conversation. You know, I have these bright yellow earrings on. And that would mean if I saw someone across the room, I would be like, hey there, how are you? Love the earrings, love the outfit or what have you. And that right there can open the door to a conversation, which in turn, you never know, that could be your best friend, your best client, your best interaction ever. But we have to be willing to step out. And that's what networking is about. Getting out of your shell, stepping out of your comfort zone and saying, you know what, I'm going out, I'm making new connections. You know, one of my business partners, she sits in the house and expects her business to grow. And I tell her all the time, you'll never, ever grow that way. And you'll always get 100% of what you're getting, what you're putting in, which is nothing. And so I challenge you all to pack up your bags, to build a list of networking opportunities within your community, within your company, within your sphere of influence, and connect with people. That's your superpower. And here's the truth. The more you do it, the better you become. Practice leads to progression and growth. And so this is a tool that is invaluable. When I say invaluable, Misty, how much is it? How much is it worth?
Priceless.
So we have to keep that in our mind and set intentions, make sure we're listening and learning and follow up so that we can make that our businesses grow.
I would add one more point, and you said it. You said get out of you and get into them. You said get out of your head. And when you're out of your head, you're authentically connecting with others anyway. So if you are no longer about you and what you're trying to do, and you're really about them and how you might add value, you can't help but win. You can't help but win. So beautiful.
All right, guys. Well, listen, we hope that tool helps you. We're super excited for you to go out and try. Here's what we want you to do. Number one, listen to this podcast. If you're listening, you probably hear this, but leave a comment and better yet, tell us what you're doing, how it's going, because this is something we're very passionate about. We have scripts and we have all kinds of things that we can also help you with, but this is really the beginning to your next level. So if you're ready to go to that next level, we say it here every week. There's something out here waiting for you.
Now go get it.